I'm hitting record. So my shenanigans are going to be recorded for all time. Hold on. Hold on. I'm syncing. I'm syncing. Hold on.
Is that a
Is that an
BB?
R2D2?
No, that's BB-8, not R2D2.
I was going off of the noises and wasn't looking.
I was also just going off the noises.
Yeah, let's give me a game, freaking nerd.
May the fourth be with you. I can't make him not stare at me. Ah! He rolls around too. I must protect BB-8 at all costs. He's still going. Happy Star Wars Day. This is my... Ah! He fell off the desk. BB-8. Oh, he's back. Okay, I got to turn him off because otherwise he'll start... Oh, he takes voice commands. Oops, I forgot about the voice commands. Go to sleep. Okay, turning him off. See, this is my Skywalker saber. This is the one that Rey brought to Luke, and then he threw into the ocean, or not the ocean, but he threw off the cliff. But this one, come on. This is the saber I built myself, like my father before me. This one, you know, I don't know if you can tell, purple, right? But I'd just like to point out that if you take it apart,
You have multiple crystals?
nope. I've got a purple saber, but a blue crystal.
Oh, how do you do that?
That is because I have mastered the ways of the Force.
Did you change the codes in the chip that's inside of the crystal?
I did. This is a simple ARFID in the in the kyber crystal that is in the lightsaber, and they sell different colors for $15 a pop for essentially a nickel's worth of ARFID and I don't know, a dime's worth of plastic molded. So $15 a pop. There's, I don't know, 6 different colors, but there's also like the purple one. There are 2 Mace Windows, and there's you don't know if you're getting Qui-Gon Jinn or Yoda for the green ones. So it's a blind box kind of thing, right?
Some of them are like super rare too.
Yeah, the
like the
black
white and black ones.
Yes. But for $60 on Amazon, you can get an ARFID writer and rewrite the codes in this one piece of plastic, and change the color to whatever you want, which is what I did, because I thought that was much cooler than buying a bunch of kyber crystals. buying a bunch of hunks of plastic, and I learned about ARFIDs. Also, I used ARFIDs for an ARG that I ran at a conference, where essentially I got everyone to download an app. I am well, actually, in Batu, you can build one of these at Savi's workshop, and you get to choose between justice and power and nature and defense, right? And so I chose defense. This is defense. And then you see there's this piece, and then there's this piece, and then there's this piece, and then there's this piece and this piece, and each one there's at least 2 choices for each one, so you can build different variations of a lightsaber, and everyone gets their own semi-unique lightsaber, right? And there's a whole ceremony, and I was like, honey, I'm doing this, you can't stop me. And she's like, I fully support it, because she loves me. And I was like choked up at the end. I was like, the people who do this are men of a certain age, right? It's all like white dudes in Savi's workshop making their stupid lightsabers. But it's my childhood.
I also chose defense.
And did you do it, McKenna?
No, I want to so badly. We were supposed to go to Disneyland last year, and I was so excited. And then it got canceled for obvious reasons.
Yeah. I got in. I did this last January, right before pandemic, the end of January, and my wife took video of me lighting my lightsaber for the first time. And
I will say I am very excited for when my sister and I graduate from college, because then when we're all in the workforce, we can do something I've always wanted to do, and that is go to Disney when no kids are there. That'll be amazing.
When is that?
Oh, well, I mean, less kids are there, like January, February time frame, when there's nothing like big happening.
Yeah, we go, we have been going end of January, right before C term starts, and May, right after D term ends. And usually right now I'm like, I am crushed with work, but I don't care, because in like a week and a half I'll be in Disney World. And now I'm just like, I'm crushed with work, and in a week and a half I won't be crushed with work, I guess. I don't know. No Disney World. Oh well. So may the 4th be with you. I don't know. I have fun with my stupid Star Wars crap. My Jen, IMGD head, is like, you have so many toys, Dean. Yes, I do. Yes. I brought this in like last C term, last February, I guess, before we shut down. I brought it into the office, and I was running around the office with it, because of course I did. I never brought BB-8 in though. Hi, BB. Hello. Okay, so who said record? Nathan doesn't care, but Sean is second, so I'll give it to Sean. Sean, don't hit your mic with your lightsaber. Oh, sorry. Bonk. Sean, pick a month. I did. I have been recording all of these shenanigans. January. It's a good month. Let's go to January. Purchase. January 2021. I have 4 choices remaining. Oh, we've been here before. Okay. You get a choice between action, indie, strategy, simulation, or what's this? I don't know. Do I want this? Nah. Okay. Or adventure RPG simulation. Adventure RPG simulation looks like pixel art, and action indie strategy simulation looks like 3D art. What would you like? Let's see. What do we got? The latter. You want the pixel art, the pixel art adventure? Okay. Send me a private message in the chat with an email address where I can send the code. There we go. Copy. Okay. Gift to a friend. Send an email. Control V. You are now the proud owner of Tales of the Neon Sea, a retro style pixel art adventure set in a fully realized cyberpunk cityscape where you will encounter numerous items to investigate, curious Easter eggs, and a whole cast of interactive NPCs. You must analyze every detail and discover the truth that lurks behind the heavy mist. So that sounds like fun. Go do that. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Let's turn it over to Gabe and Riker.
Hello.
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 All right. To start off, Brian has been diligently getting people to sign up for ARG playtimes. There's only 2 people left right now, Nathan Booth and Christian Adler. There doesn't seem like either of them are in class today, so if you guys have contact with either Christian or Nathan Booth, please reach out to them and tell them to fill it out today. If they don't, Brian is going to assign them dates, and if they don't show up, they don't get 10 points. That is required for the class. That is their fault. All right, so tomorrow is Rabbit Hole Day. So everybody is expected to participate in the rabbit hole for the other class. So, who knows how they're going to launch it. So, I mean, if somebody finds it, feel free to post it in our Discord so we all can get wrapped into it and started with it. As for our rabbit hole, we're pretty close to finishing it. We have all the writing stuff practically done, and the art stuff is almost done as well. We have the Twitter page and the MySpace page up and ready to post everything at the designated time. Dean, actually, I wanted to ask you about that. Should rabbit holes be going up exactly at 5 p.m. or should it be earlier than that?
It's by 5. It can be earlier, whatever you want. 5 is the latest.
Okay.
So in the past, they've gone up like on Monday or, and I'm like, okay, you're kind of making more work for yourself, but go for it.
All right. In that case, I'm going to say let's all shoot for a 2 p.m. Latest deadline to get the rabbit hole up and ready. Okay, so going off that, let's just do a quick whip around of all the team leads. Let's start off with Art. What's going on with you guys? What are you up to? What are you working on? How's it going? Sky.
You're
if-
muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just heard my name. I was turned away for a second. What happened?
Oh, yeah, we're just doing like a team lead to look around and talk about what you guys have been up to and how everything's going, what's being worked on right now.
All right, yeah. So we're just we've gotten a bunch of things done. There hasn't been a lot assigned to art. What we have to get done is still the video and a logo and just a couple portraits of the characters. But we're making some progress.
Cool. Throw it over to writing.
All right. We have a lot of the necessary text for the ARG written or about to be written. I believe most of the rabbit hole, not including like the only thing we were missing, you and I discussed were character introductions on Discord. So I believe we're doing pretty well that we have everything else. David's doing pretty well. He has a lot of text on the website. I am going to do a frequently asked questions page for that, which I will have to do very soon. Otherwise, we have very good progress so far.
Gameplay, how you guys doing?
Yeah, so we're gonna meet at like 6 tonight to finish up day 5 and 6, and we should be all set.
Cool. And community managers.
So we have the Discord set up, but we still need the portraits, and then I was gonna use the grave as the Discord profile picture. Like we said, I was working on that. The playtimes, I have only the 2 left, and judging by their activity in the server, I don't think they're gonna fill it out. And yeah, other than that, I think we're just preparing ourselves for the ARG.
One thing I do want to point out for community management is at the end of each day, excluding the rabbit hole, there is a form that you guys need to fill out. It just talks about everybody that played and whatnot, and that has to be submitted to
I just
McKenna,
wanted to
think.
ask Dean quickly. I'm assuming that's the other players or other classes or ARG, right?
What is?
The ARG play reports. I'm assuming we're identifying the story beats from the other ARG and who on our team found it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all about the player reports are all about playing. Yeah.
All right. And then last is tech. How's it going, tech?
Overall, it's pretty good, I think. We've been chugging away on a couple sites. I think you helped us get a couple of them with their domain set up, and so that's all been good. Yeah, that's
Cool.
basically it.
If anyone wants to see Gabe purchase the domain for our site, you can see it live right now.
Yes, go to graysciences.org.
Don't look at it mobile.
Yeah, just don't do it on mobile. It's not very well optimized for a tiny
Not
screen,
yet.
But, and then Nick, do you have anything achievement-wise that you want to talk about?
Nothing specifically for the whole class. I know I have to meet with community managers about the end of art stuff, but that's nothing major. I think I posted something in art a little while ago about if we could get a digital, just some digital artwork for the Discord logo, because right now we're using a default image from Google Images, and I think we would like to switch away from the first page of Google image results. That's about it.
Sky, anything to add on to that?
Sorry, I was once again telling somebody to sign up for the ARG. But could you just repeat? repeat?
say that I know we do have the logo being covered that's assigned, FYI.
Okay,
So
perfect.
we're working on that.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's pretty much everything from production standpoint. Riker, do you have anything you want to chime in on?
No, you're pretty solid on top of everything. Everything's going pretty well, I'd say.
Okay. I think that's it for us, Dean.
Sorry. Okay, so couple of things. Oh man, you said something and I was like, oh, I want to tell him about this, and then I'm like, but I'll wait until everybody's done, and now it's gone. This is what getting old gets you. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to talk about you make your arg. You're all working very hard. Oh, this is the thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Record what happens. Record both the stuff you make and the stuff that happens, right? So if you make a cool website, don't just say the cool website is here. Take a screenshot of the homepage, right? Because I haven't put up the assignment yet because I don't want to put it up until after tomorrow's assignment comes in. So I'll put it up on Thursday. But one of the things that is great is I don't always see everything, right? I try, but I like, honest to God, I get confused between. I'm like, because I try to play both, and then I'm like, wait, which one is this? Am I talking to the elf princess or am I talking to the scientist lady? I don't know, and I get all turned around, right? And sometimes I pop back in to talk with fellow players, and they're like, we did a thing and now nobody can access that website anymore, and I'm like, oh, I guess I missed it, right? So it behooves you, and also should you, I think you guys are doing like some really good work, both artistically, technically, and from what I see, the writing. So just because I made you make a portfolio piece out of the D&D thing doesn't mean you can't make a portfolio piece out of stuff you're doing for this arc, right? So I can't tell you how many times, sometimes I do get drunk and solve all the puzzles that I have already been taught how to do. I have done that. It loosens me up. Anyway, I wouldn't say drunk, I would say glowing, right? I have a healthy glow about me when I sit down to solve puzzles. So I miss things, things disappear, things change, right? That's the nature of the ARG. It's ephemeral. So take screenshots, or like you're having a people are talking in Discord or in a Zoom chat or on a Zoom call, with a character or what have you. I don't know what you have planned. Record those things, because like I say, I can't tell you how many times, and in fact, just today, for a senior said, hey, do you have the stuff from our ARG? And I'm like, No. Do you? No, that's why I'm asking you. I'm working on my portfolio and I made some really cool stuff. But I don't have it anymore because it was, part of the ARG and it got put up on uh I don't know, Facebook or something. So I was hoping you'd still have it. No, I do not. So uh I'm speaking to you from your own futures. Save this stuff. So that in 4 years or 3 years, when you're about to graduate and you're going, oh my God, I need that thing I drew for the ARG was really good. Where the hell is it? I don't know. Right. That would look really great as a banner on my portfolio. Oh, well, good thing Dean told me to save everything. Right. So save everything. Also, I am going to ask, um, like, in your final report on this, writing wise, I'm going to ask you to keep it pretty short, because you only have a day or two to write it. So, I'm not expecting giant reports, but if you include art or um, stuff you made, not just, and this sounds like it's just for the artists, but it's also for the tech people, for the writers, for the community managers. You can include all that stuff, and it doesn't take me any longer to well, it does a little bit to pop through a bunch of screenshots of web pages and such, than it takes me longer to read the 2 pages of your report than it does to bop through all the pictures of the cool stuff you made. So it can only help you, can't hurt you. Okay, so we're gonna go to the future, and it's Friday, right? And it seems like it doesn't. It seems like nobody's playing. It seems like there's, and you don't know what's going on, right? You've got this cool activity out there. You've got this cool puzzle, and it's just sitting there like a lump. Nobody seems to be interacting with it. Or maybe they found it and it's just sitting there. What do you do? Mm-hmm. You hope Dean gets drunk and solves all the puzzles?
Advertise better in the past.
Advertise better in the past. Well, I'm trying to get to Friday. You've done what you've done, right? So you can't go to the past, right? So you've got players. People have signed up at your rabbit hole. You know for a fact that 25 people are required to play your game. That's kind of a bonus, right? Out in the real world, there aren't 25 people who are getting credit for playing any game, maybe somewhere, but so it's sitting there. What do you do? How do you? I guarantee here's one thing you'll do. You'll come into the class and go, Dean, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. We made all this cool stuff and nobody's doing it. So I'm heading off that. I'm heading you off at the pass. and asking you, well, okay, what do we do? So that we can plan for this instead of scrambling on Friday. Any ideas? What can we do? Nothing.
Send an email
Send an email to who?
to
Cry.
the people that have registered.
Okay, send an email to everybody who's registered. That's possible. So the first question is it just sitting there and not going anywhere because people aren't interested, or because they're stuck? Right? And so those are two different problems. Right? So if they're not interested, then yes, send an email, get them back. But if they're not interested, maybe the email isn't gonna work anyway. So who and who's the email from? From Gabe in 4 p.m. saying, hey, come back?
From one of the characters.
One of the characters. Okay. Always one of the characters. Give them hints on how to use the things they have been given. Okay. So there are ways to do that, right? A good way is characters. Keep those characters talking. If the characters go silent, then the players go silent. The other thing, and I think I've talked about this, is to build in ways to see where your players are, right? So if you've got, say, a puzzle that's, I don't know, on a web page somewhere, right? And you can see how many times that page has been accessed, you know, if they've gotten there, if anybody's looking at the puzzle. So that's the first question to answer. Is anybody looking at it? If not, then you got to back up and say, why haven't they gotten here? And figure that out, and maybe just straight up point them to it again. The second is, if they are looking at it, are they, how do you register a positive outcome, right? Is it they find another URL and they go to that one? Well, then all you know is that they have not succeeded by not going to that URL, right? But if, for instance, you have a form or some sort of web page with input the answer here, press this button, then you can keep logs on everything they've tried, right? And even if that put the answer here, press this button, and if they get it right, it gives them a URL, black text on a white background, instead of just going to that web page, and I'm just keeping it simple, then you can see everything they try, and you know if they're trying or not, right? So so that's one way to keep tabs, because really you have to the more information you have, the better you can react to them, right? Going back to giving them hints, we're used to escape rooms now, right? Where it's very easy. You just, you look up into the sky, you look up into one of the cameras, and you go, we want a hint. Please give us a hint. We're stuck. We don't know. Please. And then a disembodied voice comes on, or a phone rings. and a disembodied voice says, have you thought about blah, right? And you have a hint. It's harder with an ARG because there's a narrative, right? And you've got to stick to the narrative. So the question becomes, who gives the hint? And why? Why are they giving this hint? The easy answer is because your players need a hint, but there has to be a story reason to give the hint. Sidekicks are wonderful, right? Hey, boss, or hey, everybody on the internet, have you thought about blah, right? There is a trap here. Have I talked about sock puppets? A little bit. Yes. Okay. So I have talked
Yeah, I
about
was
sock
in the
puppets.
reading.
And not to impersonate players, right? But even characters, if your players get like you are training your players how to play the game, right? This is true of video games. This is true of ARGs. This is true of escape rooms. How do we play this game? So if the players know that if they wait around long enough, the sidekick is going to come on and go, hey, buddy, have you thought about this? They'll wait, right? They'll well, if we just hang out, sidekick will tell us, right? So there's a balancing act here, where maybe well, so here's the other thing. Everybody knows that there's 2 story beats and 2 gameplay beats every day. So once, if they know they've only done one, then they know they're behind. But if they don't get one, then hey, that's tomorrow's player's problem now, because I only signed up for this day and we couldn't figure it out. Oh well, see you, bye, I'm out, peace. So that becomes a kind of artificial problem in these ARGs. And trust me, I've gone through all sorts of permutations of player behavior in these ARGs. We had one group took to heart the idea that the villain was on a timeline, right? So they knew that if they had one puzzle that had to be solved by 3 p.m. and another puzzle that had to be solved by 8 p.m. or activity or what have you, right? And every time the players didn't solve it in time, the villain got closer to his ultimate goal, right? And so I got yet another part for the dirty bomb that I'm building because you didn't solve this in time, right? So the problem is they had a couple of problems with this. They had this timeline, these 2 timelines, but they didn't tell the players that the villain was on a timeline, right? So the players didn't know that even they had a time limit. They didn't know they had to solve a puzzle by 3 p.m. They just figured they had to solve a puzzle, right? And at 3 p.m., the villain won, according to the makers, right? So at 3:30, they were given the answer to the first puzzle. I saw Carrie going like this. I thought you were raising your hand.
I was adjusting my lamp.
Oh, okay. So one of the, I mean, everybody knows that there's 4 things every day, so they know they're behind. If your bad guy, corporation, ghost, whatever, gloats, right, and says, "Wahaha, because you have not solved this in time, I have gotten one step closer to ultimate whatever." Well, then they know they lost that one. But their idea was that why would a villain do that, right? The villain is just going to work towards his goal and win, because that's what villains do. But guess what? The villain won. Because the other thing they did, and I think I've said this before, is they put a surrogate player in, aka a sock puppet. And once the villain won, the sock puppet would, the way they gave the puzzle away was this sock puppet would say, "Hey, I figured it out," and give him the answer. And the players learned that if they waited long enough, this really smart guy, Pete, would solve the puzzle. So they kept waiting for Pete to solve the puzzle because he was really smart. He solved every puzzle. He just solved it a half hour after it had to be done. So essentially the makers were playing their own game, right? Which is a problem. You're making the game for them to experience, not for you to play your own game and them to watch. So that's a big one. So if you have a timeline, and you do, make sure that they know the timeline. Keep talking to them. The more you talk to them, even if it's character building, getting to know each other, the more you're driving engagement. Somebody's dancing behind you, Sky.
That's Nathan.
Hi, Nathan. It's okay. I wish I could dance. I'm stuck in this chair all day. It's weird. Not weird, but fun. So keep talking. Ask them where they are. Keep asking them. Right? Ask them if they need help. And if while you're playing, don't be afraid to ask for help. Right? You'll know who their characters are, right? Talk to them. Second, the next big thing, story about previous ARG. There was a puzzle, and just they did it right. They had the puzzle on a website, and when you solved the puzzle, you put the answer, and it was like a 4-digit code. You put the answer in a form, or whatever it is, a field, and you press submit. And if it was wrong, it would say, "Nope, that's wrong. Try again." And if it was right, it would give you the next link in the chain, right? And so it was the 3:00 that year that had this puzzle up. So I said, how's it going? What happened last night? And they're like, "Oh, well, they got to this puzzle. We were really proud of it. It was broken originally, but we found it really fast. It was, and we fixed it the tech on the website was broken, and whatever you put in, it said it was wrong. But it was broken for like 15 minutes. We caught it right away. Took them about 4 hours to solve the puzzle anyway. Right. So everything worked out. It was fine. Right. So, okay, well, that sounds good. Okay. I get to 4:00 class and I'm like, okay, playing their arc. How's that going? And they're like, we want to kill them. We hate them. We want them to die. And I'm like, what happened? And they're like, they put up a puzzle and we solved it in like 10 minutes and we put the answer in and it said we were wrong. And so for 4 hours, we tried everything. We tried everything we could think of. We banged our head against this puzzle until Bob over there told us, hey, and he had just come in and he's like, I'm pretty sure this answer is right. And we're like, no, we put that in already. And it said it was wrong. And he's like, well, I'm going to try it anyway. And it was right. What the hell? We put that in the first 10 minutes. They wasted 4 hours of our life. Right. So, broken puzzles break the authorial contract. Right. That's the reason why I talk about the authorial contract. The idea that I will provide you with entertainment if you trust me, pay attention, and try. Right. As soon as you put up a broken puzzle, you have broken that contract because you aren't providing entertainment. You are wasting people's time, and as players, then they tend to go the other way and stop trying. Right. But mostly because, once again, I have this kind of artificial, you've got to keep playing because there's points involved. And so what happens is that they have to keep playing, but they don't trust the other class. And so that distrust turns to anger. Anger turns to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. So check your puzzles. I guarantee you, whatever gameplay people, whatever you have planned, there's somebody in your group who has no idea what you're doing. Find that person and make them do the thing that you're planning on inflicting on the other class. Okay. One of the things I used to do was have a play tester group to play test all the activities before they went up. And they, honest to God, QA is not second-class game development. QA is just as important as everything else. If you get a job in QA, there is nothing to be ashamed of. You are a vital piece of making a game. But everybody who was in the testers group were like, I'm just a tester. I suck. I didn't show up the day we were getting jobs, so I got to be a tester. So I got rid of it. You are all testers now. Okay, test each other's work. Make sure it works before you make it public. Yes, see, McKenna will test before you inflict it on anyone.
And
okay.
I'm one of those people who overthinks everything. So
yeah.
Even better. Yay.
Yeah, exactly.
I showed you that puzzle box yesterday. I like my initial reaction to the semaphore codes was to go look up semaphore codes and try and make a word. Nah, it's just symbols you got to match other places on the box. You don't need to know semaphore code at all.
In the WPA escape room last semester,
Yeah.
we had 4 memos that when you looked at the formatting of the memos, it gave you 4 numbers that you could input into. However, the first time I read the memos, I was sitting there trying to figure out, oh, what numbers are in here? Oh, there's 23 here and blah, blah, blah. And most people actually did that as well. When really, and then I always loved it. There was one moment where someone would see the formatting and just go, oh, and that was always the best thing.
Yeah.
I always tried to be there for that moment.
When we were playing, there was the follow the line through the letters to spell out a planet or something. And we got to the last one and we followed it and it spelled out the planet, but it was going from right to left instead of left to right. So I was like, oh, that's a clue that we have to put the numbers in backwards.
Oh no. Did you have to?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. So yes, I tend to overthink too. I would also like to point out that my group is the only group that failed the escape room.
I really, really should have given it to you guys,
No,
or at
I'm
least
proud.
given you the almost got it ending rather than the absolute total failure ending.
I would have taken the almost got it ending.
Yeah.
Because she was killing us while I was screaming the last code. But she was an implacable AI bent on destruction. So
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so I am once again over time as usual. So next time I see you, the ARGs will be running. Remember, have plan B, have plan C. Help your players. This is if they lose, you do not win. Right? Just I always talk about somebody is like, I made this whole thing and they never even got to it. They didn't even, I made this amazing website and nobody saw it. And I'm like, you are experiencing the heartbreak of undiscovered content. Welcome to game development. Right? So you win if they experience the entire experience. This is a dark ride, not a shooting gallery, right? If you kill them, they can't reload. So you want them to go from bit to bit. So help them along the way. Okay? And I will see y'all on Thursday. Have a great Wednesday.
Quick question, Dean.
Yes.
So our rabbit hole is starting on Twitter. I just wanted to confirm, can you retweet us on the IMGD Twitter page?
Sure.
I'll send you a link once it's up.
Send me a link.
Okay. Team leads, we have a meeting at 8 o'clock. Don't forget about that. That's all I got.
Okay. See you Thursday. Bye. May the 4th be with you.